7 James Bonds at Casino Royale. They came to save the world and win the gal at Casino Royale. 6 of them went to a heavenly spot. The 7th one is going to a place where it's terribly hot.
The formula is C with old 007. He's got a red head in his arm. Well, he's a lover when you are in trouble. Have to feel, look who's here. James Bond. They've got us on the run with gun and knife. We're fighting for our life. Have no fear, Bond is here.
When most people think of films that spoof the James Bond series, most think of the Austin Powers series, or perhaps the Rowan Atkinson comedy Johnny English. However, the very first spoof came out way back in 1967, and it just so happened to share the name of the first novel. Producer Charles Feldman obtained the rights to make a movie based on Casino Royale, and his initial plan was to make a serious film that would be in continuity with the Eon films. However, when Eon wouldn't play ball, he instead decided on a satirical take on the character. The film has no less than 5 directors, and if you think that would result in a chaotic mess of a movie, then boy are you right. The film, which barely resembles the novel, introduces Sir James Bond, played by David Niven, who ironically was Ian Fleming's original choice to play Bond as the original gentleman spy who retired some time ago, and his name and 007 number were given to a younger agent because it was felt that Her Majesty's Secret Service must always have a James Bond 007. This new Bond is never seen in the film, but it is heavily implied to be Sean Connery's take on the character, and Niven's character is largely critical of the way the film series had been handled. A coalition of spy leaders, including French Secret Service, KGB, CIA, and M, arrive at Bond's estate and attempt to lure him out of retirement to battle Smersh, but he refuses. Then, for whatever reason, M orders missiles to attack Bond's house, though M gets killed in the process, which really doesn't make any sense at all. Anyway, I guess this worked because Bond returns to his job, now promoted to M status. He first fends off Smersh agents posing as M's widow and daughters, and then more Smersh agents on his travels to headquarters. He orders that all surviving agents be renamed James Bond 007, including the women, to confuse Smersh. This is where the tagline of the movie comes from: Casino Royale is too much for one James Bond. Starring as the various Bonds, we have Peter Sellers as an expert baccarat player, Ursula Andress as a rich former agent Vesper Lind, Joanna Petit as Mata Bond, the daughter of Bond and Mata Hari, Delilah Levy as some woman named the Detainer, Terence Cooper as some guy who's supposed to resist the charms of women, and William Holden as a CIA agent. I suppose that's the Felix Leiter role. Woody Allen also makes an appearance as Bond's nephew Jimmy, perhaps a take on the original Casino Royale, and he turns out to be the head of Smersh and the main villain of the film. Also, we have Orson Welles playing Le Chiffre, who plays Baccarat opposing Peter Sellers' faux Bond. Sellers and Welles apparently did not get along, as Sellers wanted to play Bond seriously, and as such his parts were the only ones that even remotely resemble the novel, and Welles insisted that Le Chiffre would perform magic tricks at the casino. There's a lot of crap going on here, and the movie is so disjointed due to the many directors and the episodic nature of the plot, as it really is a bunch of scenes put together loosely, which it only has the thinnest of plot threads holding them together. What's worse is that the movie fails miserably as a comedy. It's barely eliciting a chuckle throughout the entire thing. The end battle in the Casino Royale is ridiculous, with stock movie cowboys and Indians joining in, Woody Allen belching mini-atomic bombs, and David Niven trying to maintain some form of dignity amongst this mess. The movie doesn't do what it sets out to do, and it doesn't spoof the James Bond movies, but rather, it's just a James Bond movie that happens to contain a load of jokes, most of them ranging from mediocre to terrible and dated. The film is interesting only as a piece of Bond history, but fails at being funny or coherent. Fans looking for funny Bond spoofs should stick with the aforementioned Austin Powers and Johnny English. I give Casino Royale a 3 out of a possible 10.